Hasta la vista, baby.
Get away from her, you bitch!
I, Iron Man.
Expecto Patronum!
I am your father.
There's a snake in my boot!
What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another TV series review. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. Well, guys, I'm super excited because we had the conclusion of yet another season of one of my favorite shows of all time. Today we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 4. This season was released in 2 volumes. Volume 1, the first 7 episodes came out May 27th, and the last 2 episodes, Volume 2, came out July 1st. And this show stars a lot of the same characters from the previous Stranger Things seasons, and as well as bring in some new ones. This season is set in March 1986, 8 months after the events of the 3rd season. In one plot line, we follow Dustin, Max, Lucas, Erica, Steve, Nancy, Robin, and a new character, Eddie Munson, where he is the prime suspect after this murder investigation that is going on right now. In the second plot line, we follow Mike, Eleven, Will, and Jonathan in their new home in California while they're trying to track down Eleven after she gets captured. In the third plot line, we follow Joyce and Murray, who are going to Russia to try to find Jim Hopper after they learn that he is still alive and try to bring him back home. And as well as there is a new villain on the rise named Vecna, who is in the Upside Down, and they have to take him down. Now, I was very hyped for Season 4 of Stranger Things. I binge-watched the first 2 seasons leading up to Season 3. After how Season 3 ended with we know what happens to Hopper, we see Mike, Eleven, Will, Max, and the whole crew, and we get introduced to new characters this season. I mean, what could go wrong with more Stranger Things? All around, guys, Season 4 of Stranger Things, I will say that this is my favorite season of the show so far. I love Season 4. Like, this season really goes in dark territory. Like, we're getting to the end game, it seems like. Since the Duffer Brothers confirmed that Season 5 will be the final season, and this season all around had a lot of stakes. The show does a fantastic job at developing all these characters that it makes you care about every single one of these kids and adults. And whenever the Upside Down or a new threat arrives like Vecna, which we will talk about very soon, you just care about these characters very much, and that's what I love about the show. I care about these characters, and whenever serious stakes are going down, you don't want to see anybody die. This review will be completely spoiler-free. Do not worry, guys. I am not spoiling the deaths or things that happen in Season 4. If you haven't watched Season 4 yet, go watch it. It's on Netflix right now. I really love the storylines that take place in Season 4, mostly with Eleven, Mike, and Jonathan and Will, and they're in a new town in California, as we saw at the end of Season 3. They're moving out of Hawkins. We get to see how she's being treated now at her new school. She's getting bullied by this girl, Angela, and these group of really bad bullies all around, and Eleven is just going through a lot, and we see a lot of that this season. She gets put through the ringer. And Millie Bobby Brown's performance is fantastic this season. She just continues to get better and better as this character. And there's one particular episode, if you've been bullied pretty much, there's one particular scene that you've probably seen all throughout social media. Definitely very cool to watch. And we also get to see Eleven go back to where she was as a child, where we saw Matthew Modine, who is her first father. We also see Paul Reiser, who gets introduced into here. And really her going through just the psychiatric place. Because at the start of the season, Eleven has lost her powers, and she pretty much gains them back. It's her learning to get her powers back. And Matthew Modine in here, we see more scenes of her and Eleven. Those were one of my favorite parts of this season. And we get another storyline where it's in Hawkins, where we got Steve, Robin, Dustin, Lucas, Max, all these characters, and we get introduced to one of the new characters this season, Eddie Munson. And Eddie Munson has been glowing all over social media, and I really like Eddie. And his storyline in here, he's kind of that weird punk rocker sort of dude. He brings that vibes at the start of the season. But throughout the season, you really do care about Eddie. This season has introduced some really funny new characters. There's Eddie Munson and Argyle, the pizza guy. I really like those different personalities they introduced this season. And that's just what I love about Stranger Things. They can introduce some new characters and they become one of your favorite characters. The other storyline, Eddie Munson is being framed for this group of murders that is going on right now called the Hellfire Club, which is pretty much started off by this group of bullies in here. One character whose girlfriend was the first to be picked off by Vecna. But no, deep down inside, it is Vecna who is causing all the chaos. Vecna is the best villain in the Stranger Things universe, by far. Vecna is such an amazing villain. And the scenes with Vecna in here, just how he can be able to get into your mind and really mess you up. And just all around Vecna in here, all the scenes with that character in particular, and the design, pretty terrifying. It's just such an amazing, well-written villain, and it'll have characters just almost shitting their pants at the pure mention of his name. That he's like the boogeyman. Like, it's such a great villain. And we get to another storyline that I was the most interested in, where we got Joyce and Murray going to Russia to find Hopper. They found out Hopper is alive. As we know at the end of season 3, Hopper sacrificed himself, as it seemed. But he is alive, baby, and I love Hopper. He's my favorite character in Stranger Things. I think David Harbour's such a badass, and what a transformation. And you'll see his character in here. He pulls off six-pack abs, and Hopper was pretty much fat in the other seasons, and what a transformation. Hopper's pretty much going through his journey, going through the ringer, trying to get back and find Joyce in here. And it's just so entertaining seeing that storyline. There's some other new characters that get introduced in that Russian storyline. But the character I think that gets the most to do in this season is actually Max, played by Sadie Sink. And Max is the younger sister of Billy, Dacre Montgomery, of course, who sacrificed himself and died at the end of season 3. And we get to see Max go through a lot of trauma after that. Watch episode 4 in particular. I think Sadie Sink's performance as Max this season is actually fantastic and a great progression for her character. In the scenes where she is dealing with Vecna, in episode 4 in particular, just the visuals alone in that episode were really, really great. Another character that really has a progression this season, Steve Harrington. I would say Steve Harrington and Hopper are my favorite characters in Stranger Things. I love Steve Harrington. Joe Carey does a great job playing that character. And what a character arc, because in season 1, he was an asshole. I didn't like Steve in season 1. But now, he's one of my favorite characters. And we get to see a lot of scenes of Steve and Nancy in here, and it's just really sweet. But once we get to the final 2 episodes in volume 2, there's just really serious stakes, like nearly movie length episodes. We'll be talking about that in the negatives, but they just fly by like that. Even though these episodes are all over an hour long, they flew by for me because I care about the story, I care about the characters, but the Duffer Brothers also know how to get you in the feels. And Dustin in here and other characters, they really sell the emotions perfectly. And it's all earned. Like, they know how to make everything earned in this season. In episode 9, get ready. I just personally don't understand why this show is all pretty much binged. I mean, the first 7 episodes of Volume 1 were binge, and the last 2 episodes were released together. I wasn't a fan of the way they released these episodes. This show is, I think, the most popular show on Netflix, by far. This show should be weekly. Like, pretty much every show on streaming now is going to weekly. I just personally don't get the binge model. All these episodes were great. I just feel like this show would be much better if it was weekly, because it felt completely rushed almost near to the finale. Like, we got to get this done as soon as possible. Let's crank out the last 2 episodes 2 months later. And at some points watching the show, especially getting to the finale of season 4, it did feel very rushed. The last episode is almost 2.5 hours long. I don't have a problem with that. I think it would have been much better if you did a weekly model, so that way you had the time to finish what you need to finish going into the finale. And watching the finale, a lot of things did feel very rushed. Also wasn't really crazy about some smaller plot lines that were thrown into here, like the group of bullies that are trying to get after Eddie Munson. That got a little tiring after a while. They could have shortened those characters out more. And this season does leave off with a lot of unanswered questions that I'm sure will get clarification for season 5, which is going to be the final season. Like, I had a lot of questions. What happened to this character? Did they get out alive? Like, what's going on here? Before I give you guys my final overall thoughts on Stranger Things Season 4, if this is your guys' first time checking out the channel and you enjoyed this review, definitely hit that like button and consider clicking that subscribe button. If you want weekly reviews, ranking videos, and movie conversations, I do it on the channel. Stranger Things Season 4 is a fantastic season. It's my favorite season of the show by far so far. We'll see what Season 5. This takes the characters on a much more deeper personal level. The stakes have risen, and a lot more things I'm very excited to check out for Season 5. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Stranger Things Season 4 an A. Thank you guys as always for watching this review. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.